Do you know how to throw a good elbow? When it comes to throwing elbows on the street, we got to make sure that we're being safe as well. So I take my hands and I put my palms underneath my cheekbones. I allow my fingers to roll up. This gives me a nice guard of my neck and protecting everything as much as I can. I'm going to focus on horizontal elbows and vertical elbows. I can do that from the lead or I can do it from the rear. Now, when I think about it simply, it's really just horizontal and vertical. But if you train in Muay Thai, you obviously know there are tons of different ways to throw an elbow. I'm going to actually teach it though from a karate perspective because this is what I grew up with, elbows, and I like the idea or the concept behind it. So I have left foot forward, right leg is back, I'm throwing my vertical elbow. The reason why I like doing it in my karate stance here is because it drives my hip a little bit more than in Muay Thai. Not saying that one's better than the other, this is just what worked for me. So again, palms get placed onto the head. I'm throwing my elbow number one straight up as high as I can. Notice I had to turn my hip, turn my shoulder like I'm throwing a cross punch. Now I'm just doing that with my elbow. When you're throwing your elbow, you don't want your arm to be opening up. You don't want your chest to be opening because now you're going to rely on that rotator cuff. And if you've had a rotator cuff injury, you know how easy it is to snap that. So pull everything nice and tight in, almost like you're doing a wing cover. So again, elbow number one, straight up the pipe. Elbow number two, I'm going to relax my arm, make it straight, and then I'm going to drive down. So elbow two is a driving motion. I can use my abs and torque into this, but I'm not going backwards. I'm not making a J motion. I'm just trying to drop straight down. A little bit of Wing Chun theory there. Learn how to control the joint. You'll learn how to control your elbow. Obviously helps if we're doing elbows. So elbow number two, driving down. Elbow number three is going to go to the rear. So I'm going to use that same concept from two nice, soft, noodle-like arm so I can get into the joint. I can use my back and striking backwards. And I'm trying to pull. So again, back and bicep doing the work. Imagine somebody's pulling a rope on your elbow, driving that back. Elbow number four, horizontal elbow. Now I set with my hands up. I C-step. Now this time I'm going to put a target out. That's my hand. This is me clinching and then elbowing. So as I'm holding it out there, I'm driving that. To help with my body, I'm rotating. If this was my lead hand, right hand forward, I'm throwing a hook punch. Now I'm throwing that elbow the same way. Finishing with the elbow on that 90-degree angle. So again, here, set the target, hit that target. Elbow five straight from karate, but I'm thinking about a backwards four, if that makes sense. So now I'm setting my arms together, out into my traditional horse stance, mastering a rearward motion elbow. So I can help push with this if I need to. I can just strike with this. It's really just getting that feeling of how do I move my shoulder back. Wing Chun guys, you know where that comes from. So from elbow five, now I go into elbow six. Elbow six is just like elbow three. Three was driving to the rear. Now when I'm doing six, maybe they're bigger and stronger opponent from behind. I grab my own hand. I'm going to use my abs to crunch forward. As I'm going through three, I realize three may not hit. Maybe they've hollowed out. So I dip down and I use this left arm to push up. Well, again, I'm pulling back. Elbow number six. Elbow number seven, just like two. Two would be like this. But now I'm facing this way. My attackers may be back here. So I go up, turn around, and I'm assisting just like six by pushing down and smashing down. Elbow number eight, if I go to face you guys, is a piercing elbow. Okay, I have my triangle forward. There's my double wing cover. So I'm taking this, C-stepping forward to switch stance. Now it's in the lead, right leg forward, right elbow forward, driving in. So eight becomes more like I'm throwing my whole body at you, and my elbow just happens to be the triangle that's hitting you. So you can see with the traditional karate system, they teach lots of elbows, or they call these 8 elbows, all these different things. The most practical elbows that I've ever seen is going to be that elbow 4, that horizontal elbow, that elbow 1 coming right up that pipe, and that elbow 8 driving forward. So those are the ones that I teach my students and the ones that I train the most. All of the other ones are great. But what you're really trying to do is just master your shoulder joint, your elbow joint. So we don't need our wrists really involved with this at all. A lot of styles teach, well, the palm must be facing you or the palm must be lined up with the ulna bone. I don't care what it does. I care that I'm hitting them with the elbow. Some people to say hit with the flat of the elbow. Some people to say hit with this part. All that's great in theory, especially if you have a static target like a board. But when you're trying to hit a human being's face, hit their face. If you can't hit their face, hit their spine. Because anything in between that is going to cause some damage and hopefully create some space. And space becomes our friend. Because when you're clashing into that fight and two forces are coming together, we're going to have that close contact, that intimate range. And if you've built in your body to do this motion, and just be ferocious with your elbows, you might have a better chance to stay alive today. Train your ass off. Stay safe.